Hey, good morning, family. So this is Reginald Martin of Kometic Centered Living. So again, I'm the gentleman that's behind all the videos that you guys see, uh, and wanted to talk with you today about the ancient Kometic Egyptian spiritual system, because I know a lot of you I know that are new to the channel here. And I wanted to speak to also to the people who have been with me for a while. I had taken some time off for a number of reasons, but I'm back, and doing the things that I enjoy. So that's one of the reasons I'm back, because I figured out that I enjoy doing this. I do it for the sheer joy of just doing it. If no other reason. But anyway, so the ancient Kemetic system is one that's if all of us that are raised or have been raised within the Christian faith, we probably have a lot of how can I say, misunderstandings about this system, and about Egypt in general, because essentially Egypt was kind of seen in the Bible as the bad guy, and there's reasons for that, and I'll get into that a little bit later, but basically just kind of help you guys that are being introduced to these ideas, because they're not only just just history. There is a deep metaphysical system that Christianity layered on top of and basically distorted a lot of the teachings, okay? And that's one of the reasons why I'm so passionate about teaching this system, is because it helps us to really unlearn the ancient Christian ideas. Okay, it helps us to unlearn the negative programming, because that's a lot of times what Christianity has been for so many of us. Has been negative programming, and that's my purpose, for sharing this knowledge, is to really help you unlearn that stuff. But so the one thing is that the Kometic system was monotheistic. And if you don't know much about it, probably the little that you've heard is that Egypt worshipped animals and many gods and stuff like that. And that is a complete and total fabrication of what this really sophisticated symbolic system is about that they had. So they believed in one source of all creation. So that's where the Christian idea really of one God came from. But again, they distorted that later. But the idea is that I just walked up a hill, so that's why I'm kind of breathing a little bit hard here. But the idea that ancient Egypt taught was that this one source fragmented into the multiplicity that became the universe, okay? And what you see as what was erroneously called the gods is actually personifications of universal functions, okay? So they anthropomorphize universal functions. And basically what that means is they used natural aspects of our world to, by analogy, explain the metaphysical world, okay? And what they were doing was explaining what they had was called a three-world system. So they had the heavens, the duat, and the terrestrial, okay? These what were erroneously called gods are what they call Neters, okay? And Neters Loosely, you can translate it as nature, but it's not an equal connection there. Okay, but you can think of it in the context of it's just personified functions of nature. So Atum, Isis, also known as Aset, Osiris, also known as Asar, Heru, also known as Horus. They're all personified functions of aspects of nature. Okay. So one of the other things that I wanted to add, this is why I don't just talk extemporaneously all the time, because I forget stuff, important stuff. But at any rate, the idea of the animal heads on people, okay? So, or vice versa, animals or people heads on animals, okay? For the Ba, that's what one of those represents. But it is an extremely sophisticated symbolic system. So they were not worshiping these things. They were symbolically representing metaphysical concepts, okay? So for instance, the idea of Horus has a falcon head on him, and that falcon head basically symbolically means that it's higher knowledge. Okay, so you're getting higher knowledge than what you have on Earth. Okay, for this particular instance, but a bird flies high. So you can see that as a pattern to recognize when you see birds or maybe a cat or a lion or whatever. The lion or the animal that they chose is not arbitrary. The animal represents the purest function, or they use it to represent the purest analogy that they could get, or closest analogy that they could get to a metaphysical principle. Okay, so that's what the animal heads are about. They never worshipped animals or anything like that. Their systems was it was an extremely sophisticated one that still it stands the test of time. But you have to understand the symbolic system, or the esoteric language and the symbolic system that it's founded on. But when you do, it opens up a whole new layer of understanding this knowledge, okay, and understanding the metaphysical aspects of us as a soul journeying through this particular lifetime. Okay, so they weren't worshiping animals. It was a sophisticated symbolic system representing metaphysical ideas via an analogy. Okay, so an analogy is not exact. It's just analogous. Okay, so it means that they're trying to get close as possible to approximate the idea to help you connect to prior knowledge. Okay, as teachers, we understood helping our students learn something new by helping them to connect to prior knowledge. Okay, so that's what the animals do. It's just your prior knowledge, and of course, it's prior knowledge for people that lived in Egypt. You know, so you have to look on the internet, and find out what they thought and taught about those particular animals. Okay, so anyway, that's the idea of the animal heads on the human bodies and vice versa. Okay. The ancient Africans, they didn't see a separation between the physical world and the metaphysical world. For them, the metaphysical or the physical world actually came out of the metaphysical world. Okay, so the what we know as spiritual or metaphysical, they saw that as they call that the heavens. Okay, now we as Christians have been taught, heaven is this place that you go to when you die. But in the ancient teachings, heaven, The heavens was basically the metaphysical birthplace of everything, of the universe. And on some level, once you incarnate as a soul, then you return to that place. So that's kind of, again, a connection to why we've been taught that we're going to go to heaven when we die, you know. But it's really not that simplistic. So, but at any rate, that's kind of just some basic foundational pieces that connect Christianity back to ancient Egypt. And it goes, Christianity, basically the Greek Gnostics is a lot of what they ended up basing their principles or doctrines on. And then back to the Egyptians. So Christianity, the Greek Gnostics, and then Egypt. So that's the connections. And the reason why I'm so passionate about it is that Kometic spirituality is because it answered so many questions for me about the religion that I was raised in and grew up on, okay? It actually, man, there was so many questions I had. So when I'm doing my videos, what I'm doing is answering those same questions for you guys, okay? And the same questions that I had, and then also questions that you guys might ask, you know, in the comments and stuff like that, just to, you know, kind of clarify some things. But a lot of the teaching is based on basically helping you as you're deconstructing from Christianity. There is no system like the Kometic system that can help you answer the questions, okay? And that's my passion for it. So I'm not saying that it's the only system that you should look at or anything like that. What I am saying is that when you want to get into the broader spiritual context of a lot of other systems, the Kometic system can lay the foundation for you to explore more, okay? So that's really, again, you know, one of the reasons why I'm so passionate about it is that it helps you unlearn the dogma, which is the only new thing that Christianity really came up with. The dogma that they came up with is the stuff that's untrue spiritually. So what they ended up doing was keeping just enough of it to basically, you know, keep you connected in a sense to know and understand that it is based on a spiritual system, but the dogma completely changed a lot of the teachings and really reversed them, you know. So that's what I'm showing you in a lot of these videos, is how Christianity took one thing and reversed it, you know, to basically keep you trapped mentally, you know, and adhering through fear to these made-up doctrines that they did. Well, through the Kometic science, you can find the origin of these doctrines and see that there's just no truth to them, okay? They ended up, and a doctrine simply means a theory. So there are theories that they made up. The new stuff that is dogmatic is really not very spiritual at all. And it ends up separating you from the larger spiritual foundation and heritage of humanity, really, is what it does. So that's basically it. But and I wanted to tell you how, so ancient Egypt, we had a negative perspective of ancient Egypt from a Christian perspective, because we saw Egypt as the bad guys, okay? They did all this stuff to the Israelites. Well, there's an esoteric foundational meaning behind these. In other words, there's secret teachings that these ideas are representing. The Egyptians represented being on earth, okay, or as your journey of incarnating on earth. And the children of Israel represented the idea of souls incarnating on earth. And Jerusalem was the higher consciousness place where souls went to. Okay, so that's how Egypt basically became the bad guy. It was like they represented being on earth and the trials and tribulations and everything that a soul goes through on earth. The other thing about their teaching is that the main characters that became part of the Bible are explaining the journey of the soul, okay, not a physical person. So the soul is the main character, and how it is progressing as a soul is what's being explained, and it's teaching you. And a lot of times, even the Bible scriptures, they're teaching you how to navigate through earth as a soul. Okay, but the exoteric teachings that we were taught, they end up becoming a distortion of the teachings. Okay, so that's basically it. So I just wanted to touch base and help you guys that are new to the channel and new to this knowledge and information. You'll find that it resonates with you, or it just feels right. Christianity teaches you not to trust that, but what you feel is real. Okay, and you should learn to trust that feeling, because it ends up making, a lot of it ends up making more logical sense than the doctrines that we were taught. Okay, so that's basically it. So just a little short introduction into these teachings, why I believe that they're so important, and that's because they will help you unlearn the doctrine and really learn the true, more broader spiritual teachings. Okay, so at any rate, y'all have an amazing day, and I will talk at y'all another time. Okay, all right guys, bye-bye.